All right, boys, that wasn't perfect. We lost to Villareal. Obviously, the game didn't matter, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It's still frustrating nonetheless, and we're going to get into it. A couple of golazos today for the boys, and that felt good, but it was a lot of kind of just struggling to create really good opportunities, and I think it was a good performance from Villareal, first and foremost, which they're a good team. They're in fifth in La Liga. They deservedly so. They've been pretty consistent, pretty tough to play against all season, and I think it's an unfortunate result in a game where we saw a couple really, really good works of art from some of these boys, honestly. And Real Madrid came out 2-0 after I think Sevilla got what, 2 red cards or something like that. Absolutely ridiculous run of play allegedly. Let's see here. Yeah, they had 2 red cards, so it was a mess, and they finally scored in the It took them 75 minutes of playing. Basically down 9 men to do anything, but they did, and it doesn't matter though realistically because we've already won the league and we know that. But the main takeaway here from me is that we didn't see Ansu Fati. This was supposed to be his like goodbye tour of Barcelona. Oh my God, Villareal had 3 shots on goal and scored 3. We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry. And I think it was unfortunate. We heard some talk about having a full Gala La Masia 11, and that's not what happened today. It was just a pretty normal lineup, except Gavi was playing for Frankie de Jong and Martin was in for Valde. Everything else was about exactly as you would have guessed, and then Fermin in for Dani Olmo. But I'd argue that's probably the way it should be right now, with the way they're playing. But let's not focus on that. I wish Ansu did get some minutes at home, seeing in front of the fans and everything. It didn't happen. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Ansu? I think he's out. I think he's making 14 million or 10 million, and he's not playing. Yeah, that can't be the case. He's going to go, in my professional opinion. But let's move on to this game. Let's focus on this game. I think we just struggled to create. I think Villareal made it really difficult to create anything in the middle, and they were blocking every shot. It felt like that's part of the reason Barcelona's XG is so low. They had 24 total shots and had an XG of 1.26 and only had 2 big chances, even though I think neither one of the goals probably came from those big chances. It was just tough. Everything was getting blocked. I think Villareal, again, put in a shift, made it very difficult for everybody. Keeper made some really good saves, but we still scored too because Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez scored some sick goals. But it is what it is. We can take away a lot from this. First and foremost, let's get into Ter Stegen because this did not help the Ter statue argument at all, man. I know the haters on Twitter are going to be feasting on this, and it's kind of hard to ignore. It is really kind of hard to ignore the fact that there were 3 big chances, 3 shots on goal, and he conceded all of them. I don't know. They weren't the easiest saves. It was some solid finishing, but you know what I mean? I think the more we see this happening, the more we see Barca conceding, especially with Ter Stegen, the more it'll make Deco, Hansi Flick, and Laporta realize that they need a keeper. Whether it's Joan Garcia, Diego Costa, me, just throwing that. I don't know, maybe, but whoever it is, they need to make a signing over the summer. And I think Iñaki Peña is leaving. With that happening, he looks unhappy all the time. With him going, Chesney probably not signing, in my opinion, either. I think they're going to need to sign somebody and somebody good. So Ter Stegen, you cannot get any better than like a 3. Maybe even that's generous. Did a couple chips on the ball, came out of his box, kind of, not really, and didn't look great at all. Didn't even look good, I'd argue. Moving to the back line, it's hard to compliment these guys after conceding 3, but I do think Pau Cubarsí played pretty well. He put a couple tackles in there at the end. There were a couple of really good passes from him as well today. But we know that. We expect that. He's good on the ball. I'll give him a 7 for that. But Inigo, and Martin, I don't think Martin looked very good. My boy Zinedine Martin didn't have it today, really. So I'll give him probably like a 5 or a 6. Martinez probably like a 6.5. I think that's fair for, conceding 3 in the end. And the high line wasn't really highlining nearly as much today, or it wasn't being as effective. I think, again, Villareal played a really good game. Nicolas Pepe looked good. Barry, when he came on, played really well. They just knew what to do on this high line and kind of figured it out. Usually that's okay when we're firing and we can attack well, but Villareal played a really good game today. It is what it is. Eric Garcia thought he was really good. I'm going to give him an 8. He did get an unfortunate yellow in my opinion, but he got an assist for Lamine's goal. Lamine did everything, but still, good work from Eric Garcia overall today. I really like him at right back. I'm starting to warm up to the idea of him there. But I still think we need to sign him right back this summer, and it needs to be more of an attacking profile. I don't think it will be Frimpong. I think he's going to go to Liverpool. So we need somebody there. It could be the guy from Romania at Rayo Vallecano, Ratiu. I think that's not how you pronounce his name, but him. Something needs to be signed there. So 7.5, I think, is fair for Garcia as well. And into the middle, I think Gavi looked good today. He looked better. He didn't look spectacular. Like, tackled Ayoze Perez in a little bit of a weird way. That probably could have been a card, you could argue, but, didn't get called. And found some good positions, but he isn't fully clicking. I don't think he'll get the call up for Spain, even though I would like to see him play more football. I think that's what he needs. I don't think he's going to get that at the Nations League this summer, but we will see. Pedri, I thought he looked good. Came off at halftime. I just think it was to manage his minutes and everything. But I think Pedri did look really solid, kind of flowed the game, kind of controlled everything in the first half, and looked, fine. Looked solid. But solid 7.5 for him, 6.5, maybe 7 for Gavi as well. Now moving to the front line. I'm going to start with Rafinha because I'm just, man, I don't know. Rafinha's never been the most beautiful player to watch play, and definitely wasn't the most beautiful player today with the coloring in his hair. I don't think it looked that clean with the braids, but I'm not going to make fun of the way he looks, man, when I look like this. My boy, it's just not putting it together. The only thing that was really saving him this season was that he was scoring great goals, and he hasn't been for a while. And he did have Balde for 45 minutes or 30 minutes about, and I don't think he looked great. He looked a little bit better. Obviously, the work rate is there. I mean, he's never going to be able to take that away from him. But the final passes, the being effective in the final third wasn't there today at all. I'm going to give him like a 6.5, maybe. And then Lewandowski, I thought it was really bad. I'm getting a little sick and tired of Lewandowski, and I think maybe when he plays more football, things could change. We'll see. He just doesn't. He takes a little bit too long with his touches. Can't really find any space. And in a game like this, we need him to be able to. I think we could have really had a Ferran Torres here. Would have been very helpful to move around, move these center backs around, and create some space for everybody. It didn't happen today, and I think that's part of the reason it was so difficult to create. So maybe a 5 for Lewa, and then Fermin, I thought he played really well. I really like Fermin Lopez. I think he deserves to start over Dani Olmo right now. He's playing better than him and has looked really good in the past few games. I think he has 2 goals in the past 2, or no, with the El Clasico goal being called off, that's not the case. But no, I think he has 2 in the last 2. Lamine Yamal as well. Fermin, I'm going to give him like an 8. I really think he was really good today, and he ended up getting his goal with a little outside the boot deflection shot with his weak foot. Love to see it. Love to see it for him. I think that feels good. And the stat padding for Lamine as well is very important because we know all the idiots on Twitter are going to complain about him. And so getting your numbers up is important for these guys. Whew, that was they're showing the tackle that got the second red for Real Madrid. And it's a red. That's a red easily on Tchouameni, but Tchouameni's probably fine. Lamine, my man of the match, 9, scored he's got the Robin trait now, man. He's kind of got his shooting boots on, and that's good to see. Problem is, not that it wasn't enough, but we didn't have enough movement. The passes from him weren't really connecting today in the way I feel like you'd see more often than we were seeing today. Mbappe's goal was from 25 yards out. What is the keeper doing here? No, that's just a rocket. There's nothing the keeper can do there. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not the happiest with Hansi today. I wish Lamine, if this game didn't matter, don't play Lamine, but maybe, again, it's the push for the Ballon d'Or thing, trying to stat pad, trying to do impressive things. And if that's the case, mission successful. Lamine scored a freak goal today, again. Then Frankie came on. I think Frankie was fantastic, pretty much. Balde, solid, not great, didn't really influence play a ton. Dani Olmo, same thing. Pau Victor, same thing. Hector Fort looked pretty good. But it was like a little messy against a team that looked like they knew what they were doing. But 3 shots on goal and 3 goals is not what I want to see from these guys. And it makes me feel like that goalkeeper signing is coming more and more. So we'll see what happens, boys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and chatting a little bit about this game. Again, wasn't that substantial, but would have liked to see Ansu Fati play. That's the main takeaway from me. And Ter Stegen, not enough, in my opinion, but we'll see how everything develops. One more game to go, and, then we're at the summer. I'm going to be following football. I'll be making videos about what's going on and everything in the signings, as always, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace, everybody.